Greetings everyone, and today we're going to be talking about possibly the best. We're going to be talking about the Canon EOS 5. Let's get into it. Why are you wearing a suit? Why? That's because we just broke 100 subs! Yay! We broke 100 subs! Mum, I'm gonna be famous. I'm a YouTuber now, Mum. We just broke 100 subs. We're gonna take over the internet. Yes. So to all the new subscribers, thank you so much for putting your trust in me. I mentioned this camera before, is the Canon EOS 5, and this is my just get the job done camera. So the Canon EOS 5 or the Canon EOS A2, depending where you bought it from, or the A2E, as it was called in the United States, is a semi-professional autofocus, auto exposure 35mm SLR camera. It was sold from 1992 onwards, and it was replaced in late 1998 by the Canon EOS 3. It has a built-in zoom flash, autofocus assist light, fast mode, Anyway, this is sold as a prosumer sort of model. So when I first got into film photography, I thought that all film cameras were only manual focus, and so basically the reason why I got this camera is because I learned that you could use autofocus modern lenses, and to me that was a huge, I thought that was like revolutionary to me. But in the beginning my manual focusing wasn't that good, and it was just really frustrating every single time I'd get my scans back, every time I developed them and scanned them, and then realized that my focusing was just a bit off, or I'd focus on the background instead of my subject, and it was just really frustrating. So when I found out that there's an entire world of film cameras that that take autofocus lenses, I was like, why isn't everyone doing this? Why? Sometimes you just need a bit of convenience. Shutter priority, aperture priority, and that's generally how I use this camera. I let the camera do the work for me. This is what I mean by getting the job done. Its maximum shutter speed is 1/8000th. 1/8000th. Why is it so hard to say? 1/8000th. 1/8000th, which is mad for a film camera. If you're getting the performance of a everyday modern day camera, but that shoots film. In my experience, most film cameras from like the 70s, 80s, 50s, their maximum shutter speed ranges from 1/500th of a second to 1/1000th of a second. A lot of times 1/1000th of a second isn't fast enough if you want to shoot wide open. So having 1/8000th of a second is amazing, because I took this out to Crete, which is basically hotter than the sun. Well, it's just bright AF there all the time. I don't like to shoot smaller than 5.6, just because that's just how I shoot generally. Having that really fast shutter speed meant that I could keep my I didn't have to stop down to really small aperture. The fact that I can use modern glass on it, modern autofocus glass on it, this body cost me 40 quid. That's it, 40 quid. If I want to use the really high-end Canon L lenses, I can. It's not like a modern DSLR where the body sort of has some sort of effect on the image quality. No, the image quality of any film camera is the stock they use and the glass. So at the moment I've got my 50mm f1.8 glued to it. In terms of autofocus, auto exposure SLR cameras, Nikon have a whole range of them, Canon have a whole range of them. Basically what this video is about is trying to draw your attention to these kinds of autofocus SLR cameras. Because in the world of film, as fun as it is, as amazing as it is, it's just basically rife with frustration. It's rife with so many things that could go wrong. And these autofocus, auto exposure SLR cameras, 99% of the time will cancel them out. And on top of that, it has auto wind. This is what I mean. Like, you just pop the film in, you pull the leader across, and then you just shut it. And that's it. There's no wrestling with the leader, trying to get it into trying to get it to catch properly. You don't have to keep remembering to advancing the film. It advances automatically. It's just all these little things that save you time and effort and frustration. In the long run, it makes for a way easier, just more pleasurable experience. Depending on on the environment you're shooting in. So nowadays people come from digital over to film, you know, they already have a set of lenses. You don't need to buy a whole new set of lenses. You're getting more bang for your buck. Generally, another con of film photography is that you need to buy a whole new set of lenses. But with these bodies, they cross over into both worlds. So you're saving money. So the main benefits are the quick shutter speed, the auto exposure, the auto load, the auto winding, auto advance, autofocus, yeah, just, you know, the price point, cheap. You know, if this breaks, it's not gonna, you know, I'm not gonna cry about it. I would cry, well, I might cry about it because, you know, it's such a, but anyway, let's get into some cons. Okay, since it's from the 90s, there's only 5 autofocus points. And since it only has 5 autofocus points, sometimes you end up focusing on something that you didn't want to focus on. Sometimes you'll, you know, half press it, and you'll find that the focus points won't focus on what you want to focus on. So what you do is you focus on something that's on the same focal plane on what you want in focus. And once you have that in focus, you then reposition and recompose to what you want to be in focus. I hope that made sense. I guess another con would be the fact that it doesn't look like your typical SLR, your typical vintage old school cameras. You know, it just looks like an old 5D basically. You might not get that same feeling, that same nostalgic feeling that you're going back in time, and you know, you might not get that with, you know, you won't get that with this because the shooting experience is pretty much identical to that of using a modern DSLR, apart from the fact that there's no screen. Basically, if you want the look of film but you don't want the hassle of film per se, then this is what you want. I'm pretty comfortable with film, but I still have this because there are times where you know, I want the film look, but I just want the convenience factor. I sort of split about making this video because on the one hand, I used to love watching, you know, I still love watching gear videos, but at the same time, I don't like contributing to sort of gear acquisition syndrome. I don't think collecting gear is necessarily fulfilling. I don't think it adds anything to your craft. Gear review, product reviews, they generally do a lot better than any kind of other video. So yeah, I was kind of torn, but then I thought about it. I thought, you know what? Someone might genuinely be looking for a camera like this. There aren't that many videos about the Canon EOS 5, the A2. So I thought, hey, this could be genuinely helpful for someone who is looking for a camera like it, or have the camera, or thinking about this camera, thinking about getting this camera. So yeah, thank you so much to all the new subscribers. It generally means a lot to me. Onwards and upwards to many more subscribers, and I'm really happy with the way this the channel is going. Most of you guys who watch my videos aren't subscribed. Don't be a snooper, be a friend and subscribe, guys. Follow me on Instagram at ZainShootsFilm. Check out my portfolio at zainreaser.com. Keep learning, keep shooting. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.